The fog didn't roll in that night, and in Bergen, that's the first sign something is wrong. January air pressed cold and wet against the harbour, the kind that usually turns streetlights into glowing halos and makes every footstep sound swallowed. Bergen was built on mist, 7 mountains cradling the town like a bowl, trapping breath and sea salt and cloud until the whole place feels half real. Locals joke you don't walk through Bergen, you wade through it. But on this night in 2017, the forecast was perfect fog conditions. Calm wind, high humidity, temperature hovering right where fog loves to form. People zipped their jackets, stepped outside, and waited for the usual curtain to fall. It never came. A ferry worker named Sindre noticed it first. He'd done the late shift for years, watching the harbour disappear by habit, like someone dimming a lamp. He glanced up at the mountains to judge how thick the fog would be, and he froze because he could see every ridge, sharp, clean. The city lights didn't bloom or blur, they just shone. And the strangest part? The air still felt like fog. Your skin dampened, your breath hung for a second. The world should have been smeared into grey. Instead, it looked like someone had wiped a lens. He texted his sister, "Is your street foggy?" Her reply came fast, "No, not even a little. Can you see Florian?" Perfectly. By midnight, the town was quietly awake. People leaned out apartment windows. Night bus riders pressed their faces to the glass, confused by how far the city suddenly stretched. Fishermen at the docks stared across water they usually couldn't read. It wasn't just clearer than normal. It was unnaturally crisp, like the air had been drained of its softness. Then the whispers started. Not loud, not dramatic, just Bergen-style murmurs. Someone said the sea looked too still. Someone else swore they heard the foghorn sound once, then stop, as if it realized it had no job tonight. A cafe owner locked up and caught herself looking over her shoulder, like the missing fog had taken away a familiar hiding place. Here's the hook. When the fog disappears, the town doesn't just look different. It feels exposed. Sindre walked out onto the pier, expecting any second for mist to creep in and reclaim the edges. Instead, he saw something he almost never saw at that hour. Stars scattered above the mountains like cold sparks. He stood there listening for the hush that fog brings, but the sounds were too clean. The clink of rigging, a distant laugh. Even the water's small movements sounded sharper, as if the night had been tuned. And in that clarity a thought slipped in that wouldn't leave. What if the fog isn't just weather here? What if it's part of the city's heartbeat? Near dawn, the first pale light rose, and still no fog. People went to work unsettled, like they'd slept in a stranger's house. Then slowly, as if Bergen remembered itself, the air began to soften. The edges blurred. Streetlights found their halos again. The familiar veil returned without explanation, wrapping the town back in its usual secret. Maybe it was a rare shift in air layers. Maybe an invisible river of wind slid over the harbour at the exact right hour. Or maybe just once, Bergen let itself be seen completely, every corner, every mountain, every truth, before pulling the curtain back. If you felt that chill of mystery, help this channel grow. Hit like, subscribe, and share this with someone who loves strange true stories. And comment, what do you think could make a fog city turn fogless in the one moment it absolutely shouldn't?